No such thing. Exactly.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. Let's begin with public hearing on 5 ordinances. Ordinance O-24-5, an ordinance to the Town Council of Chesapeake Beach adopting the annual budget for the general fund of the Town of Chesapeake Beach for the fiscal year July 1 of 24 to June 30 of 25, setting municipal tax rates and establishing a non-interest-bearing loan to the water park. Do we have any comments from the public on this particular ordinance? Wonderful. Please state your name and address, even though we know it.
My name is Laura Blackwelder. My address is 3256 Cannon King Court in Chesapeake Beach. The general fund budget as presented is not transparent. For example, under revenues, it is unclear what tax rates are charged to arrive at the budgeted amount. The town should provide the public with an informative guide explaining the rates and other derivatives of all revenue streams like other governments do. The admissions and amusement tax is a tax that can be charged on a variety of sales, including on refreshments or services at a nightclub or similar place where entertainment is provided. The rate that is charged by the town of Chesapeake Beach for admissions and amusement is 0.5%, the lowest in the state. By comparison, Annapolis charges 10%, North Beach charges 1.5%, and Calvert County charges 1%. By my math, bringing the admissions and amusement tax rate up to the rate charged in Calvert County would add approximately $1.5 million to the general fund annually. Additionally, the town should be transparent about which capital improvement projects are included in the budget. $1,844,960 is budgeted for capital improvements, but what capital improvements will the town pursue? I was very disappointed to see that the sidewalk connection from Chesapeake Village to Beach Elementary School was not singled out for its own line item under capital improvements. But really, the town should be transparent to the public about all projects that are planned by identifying them with their own separate line items under capital improvements. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Ordinance O-24-6, an ordinance to the Town Council of Chesapeake Beach adopting the annual budget for the water reclamation treatment plant on the Town of Chesapeake Beach for the fiscal year July 1 of 24 to June 30 of 25. Yes, ma'am. You don't have to stay. We got your name and address.
Okay. There is a $689,410 planned for capital projects in the water reclamation treatment plant. What are those projects? The town should provide an informative guide to the public explaining the budget, the fund budget.
Thank you. Ordinance O-24-7, ordinance to the Town Council of Chesapeake Beach, Maryland, adopting the annual budget for the mitigation fund of the Town of Chesapeake Beach, the fiscal year July 1 of 24 to June 30 of 25. Hearing none, I move on. Ordinance O-24-8, an ordinance to the Town Council of Chesapeake Beach, Maryland, adopting the annual budget for the utility fund of Chesapeake Beach, Maryland for the fiscal year July 1 of 24 to June 30 of 25, setting rates, charges, and fees related to water and sewer services by the town. Any comments at this time? Yes, ma'am.
The utility fund is very transparent, and it seems that the town council has taken some very solid steps towards stabilizing the fund.
Lastly, ordinance O-24-9, an ordinance to the Town Council of Chesapeake Beach adopting the annual budget for the water park fund of the Town Council of Chesapeake Beach for fiscal year July 1 of 24 to June 30 of 25, and establishing a non-interest bearing loan from the general fund to offset budget expenses. Is there any comments at this time? Hearing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and we will adjourn till 6 PM, which is town council meeting. A little bit out of the ordinary there, but yesterday was the 91st birthday of my mother, so I'm going to wish Babe a happy birthday up in heaven. Happy birthday, Babe. Okay, let the record read that the entire council is present, minus Councilwoman Bodine. Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any ayes have it? At this point in time, is there any public comment on any item on the agenda?
Laura Blackwelder, 3256 Cannon King Court, Chesapeake Beach. The rate that is currently charged by the town of Chesapeake Beach for admissions and amusements is 0.5%, the lowest in the state. By comparison, Annapolis charges 10%, North Beach charges 1.5%, and Calvert County charges 1%. By my math, bringing the admissions and amusement tax rate up to the rate charged in Calvert County would add approximately $1.5 million to the general fund annually. Sadly, the town council vice president did not know this when I spoke to him about the tennis courts and the water park in April. This is on the individual, but I am even more disappointed in senior politicians who have spent decades in public office for not sharing the information. It is particularly problematic because senior leaders who have had a lot of influence on council continually convince their colleagues that paying for amenities such as sidewalks, trails, water recreation, and tennis courts is something that should be balked at. In 2020, the situation of the Beach Elementary School tennis courts should tell the residents everything they need to know about the priorities of this administration. In 2022, the town council declined an opportunity to have the tennis courts refurbished as part of the construction project for the new school when they rejected a memorandum of understanding offered by the Board of Education. The MOU provided that the courts would be available for use by residents during off-school hours if the town agreed to pay the cost of refurbishment, maintenance, and insurance. Though the mayor and most members of town council seemed generally favorable to the agreement at the time, Councilwoman Bodine was animated in raising concerns about the $250,000 cost for refurbishment and the additional cost for maintenance. Thus far, the town council has not followed up with a successful negotiation with the Board of Education, and the opportunity to have the tennis courts refurbished as part of the current construction project appears to have been foreclosed. In February of 2024, the town administrator provided the town council with information related to an updated MOU and advised the town council that the courts would likely be removed if they were not refurbished by the town. The most recent comment made to me by the town council vice president about the tennis courts was, "It is unfair to the taxpayers to pay for the courts when we have no way to keep county residents who do not live in Chesapeake Beach out." Ironically, Chesapeake Beach residents will be using county-funded facilities for swim lessons and library services this year. How is it fair to residents that local casino venues get a discount rate, but residents are losing tennis and water recreation amenities? I am told that the lights were turned off at the tennis courts a few days ago. Can we please have an update?
You? Anybody else? Okay, approval of the minutes of the March 21st town council meeting?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any ayes have it. Approval of the minutes of the March 21st closed session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any ayes have it. Approval of the minutes of the April 9th special town meeting?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any ayes have it. And lastly, approval of the minutes of the April 9th informational work session?
Move to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any ayes have it. Town administrators report. I know Holly had, I'll let Holly start. Go ahead, Holly. I think you have some special news maybe, or?
Yes, exciting news. We received approval from the state to release the RFP for the 100% design for the Safe Routes to School. So that is available on eMaryland Marketplace. We'll be doing an e-blast as well tomorrow, announcing that next phase of this project. We also have some positive news on the Kellam storm drain improvements. We have received the permit. We just need to submit payment to the county, and so we can start work on that. Town council is expected to be able to review the playground equipment next week, so that's coming up here soon. As well as we have some exciting activity with DNR. They visited our public ramps today, and we are a candidate to receive about $10,000 in grant funding to install kayak launch ramps there at the West Side public ramp facility. And so they've been a great partner with us and are excited about the project. So we should be having some more information on that here soon.
Okay, great. We've read the town administrator's report. If you have any questions, I'll begin with Councilwoman Hartman.
Yep, just a couple. The Safe Routes to School, that was that part that was approved. Was that the one with the difficult terrain or the one we thought we might be able to do otherwise?
There is very difficult terrain there, and it is the 100% design for the Safe Routes to School from Beach Elementary South and along Old Bayside.
Okay, very good. Thank you. And then on page 4, when the trash numbers there, they include the tonnage split for recycling, or is it
Yes.
just trash?
Yes,
Okay,
trash
great.
and recycling.
Wonderful. Thank you. And I am glad to see from Public Works that they were able to purchase the MXUs. I know we've discussed that almost every meeting, how they are not available, and good news in the meeting that we can actually get them now. That's fantastic. Oh, pardon me one second. Oh, And is it a plan to put those in all the houses that don't have them now, ultimately? Or is there a different group or a particular group for the
In terms of
MXUs?
so they're replaced as needed. So as the MXUs, yes, the idea is to get them all to be radio read, updated MXUs so that we can read them live. Yes.
All right, great. And from the water treatment plant, it seems like the covers are working. I'm looking at your report on page 7, that you have significantly less algae growth. The density of the algae growth is significantly less. You'd mentioned that it looks like the covers that we installed fairly recently seem to be doing their job, and that's terrific. Do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
Just mentioned that in regards to the amount of algae, when we pulled them up, I was watching when they pulled one of them out, and there was virtually no algae in there. Normally, last couple of times I've seen it, we'd have a foot of mat of algae that had just been, as we lifted up, that all compresses down and not visible on this last cleaning. So we'll wait to see what it looks like on the next one in 3 months, which is going to be during the summer, and that's when
Happy
algae growing
growth.
time.
Yeah.
But looking at the clarifiers, we were just did a routine cleaning on them recently, and the channel that's covered, there was no algae. It was all just a little bit of biological growth, which happens, and that was it.
Fantastic. Love when an idea really works. That's terrific. Very good. And that might be it. That's it. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So there's a lot of great information here. I do not have any specific questions to that, and a couple of the observations already made, so thank you.
Seems a little lighter than the months going by. We must be getting some stuff done. You know,
You notice everything,
probably
Charlie.
that's what it is.
That Charlie's on the ball.
So, I don't have too many questions about in here. We've certainly making some slow but definite progress on some things. The safe routes to school. I had a couple questions. The town. So I noted that the town has said that they've budgeted for all funds for the design, and it's an 80-20 split. Have we forecasted construction costs of that?
Yes. Wayne, did you want to address that?
Sure. Given the period of time is since we had a 30% design complete, we took the 30% design cost estimate and escalated it forward for the current period. So we do have an estimate on that. Yes, we do.
We're budgeted though, forecasted.
We put it in a long range capital.
Yes.
We did plug it in, yes.
Awesome.
For the full amount.
Right. Good. That's prudent. What's the target date for the RFPs for the design? Or
For
for
when
them to
they're
be
due
turned
back,
in, yeah.
July 8th.
July 8th.
Yes, we have to give adequate time for
Of course.
clarifications,
Yeah.
and yes, we'll be back July 8th.
Absolutely. I get all of that. That's be circling that date. I think the only other question that I really have, it's in the Public Works report. I see that the Chesapeake Beach Water Tower is not in the report. Are we still planning on branding that?
Yes.
Target for that? I know we're warming up. I guess that's what we're.
We're very close. Jay's in conversations with a couple vendors that provide this service as more of a comprehensive, so they do conduct cleaning and those types of services as well. So we should be bringing that back to council here very soon.
Bringing what back to council? An estimate?
An
to
award.
do- Okay, an award.
To
I
award.
gotcha.
So we have two different options. We're looking at companies directly, and we're also looking at piggybacking possibly on a county contract for that service.
You've mentioned that before. Thank you. That's going to be an awesome drone shot coming through and coming over Fishing Creek. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Just page 3 on the Calvert County various projects under there. Just once again, as usual, any updates on the boardwalk safe crossing on Route 261?
No, I do not have any new
Okay.
news on that.
Under the item on coastal resiliency, I'll have some comments under the Climate Change Advisory Group Committee. Page 4, energy audit. we talked about the possibility of adding some solar panels around town. Are we still moving forward with that?
Yes, we're still working on that.
Great. And same for the treatment plant. Hope we can look at some solar panels there. And that's all I have for this one. Thank you.
I have very little. It's normal. It's a great report. Councilman Hartman really kind of covered some of the same safe routes questions that I had. I just want to take the opportunity to note that, tell me if I get this wrong. We've waited for quite a while. We received the approval of the MOU from the state after this was printed.
Or it's for the RFP, for
For the
RFP
RFP.
release, yes.
And it was turned around in 2 hours, 4 hours. It was
Yes.
on, okay.
It was lightning speed to get that out.
I just wanted to make that point. And do you have a date for groundbreaking on Kellums?
The award has already been made to the contractor. We will pick up the permit tomorrow from Calvert County, which will mean we can do everything but the wetland tie-in. We will email that to MDE from the issue. It usually takes them a week. So I'm going to say sometime in the next 2 weeks.
And is there a big lead time for the contractor, as far as you know?
I don't believe there is.
Okay, that's good. And then just one question, Holly. So that's also very exciting news about the potential for grant funding for putting in a kayak lift or some manner of getting kayaks in and out there. I've taken my kayak in and out there. A pair of water shoes are fine, but it'd be nice to have something better. My fear is, like so many things, if we're applying for a grant, how long will that take? And are we going to have that next summer? Or
It's
this
immediate.
summer? Yeah.
It's immediate. So they were very excited about the project when they visited the ramps today, and it gave me assurance that it was immediate and there would be no holdup at all. And so they're in full support of helping the town.
So some of the amenities that we're planning, and you sent a great update on this regarding the water park and so on. So some of the amenities that we're planning could be taking advantage of this by Memorial Day.
Yes, right away.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Before I move on, I just want to finish this report by saying a couple of days ago, I received a compliment from a very kind gentleman that told me that the best thing I did as mayor was to acquire Kellums Field. And I thank him for his generous compliment. However, I must differ. I would say that probably, and if there was a Bible right here, I'd put my hand to it. I would say in the almost 8 years I've been here, 2 weeks doesn't go by where I'm not approached by a citizen, a member of council, staff that tells me the best thing I ever did as mayor was hire a professional town administrator, Holly Wall. And I, and you know, I wish I had a $10 bill for every time that happened, because I'd have a waterfront home down in Ocean City, you know, but you know, and I always say, but that was the first thing I did. And they just go, yeah. So, yeah. So thank you guys. And it's just true. And thank you for that compliment, sir. I also appreciate that. Town treasurer's report. We've read Brittany's report. If we have any questions, I'll begin with Vice President Fink. And you mean your questions?
Well, I'm trying not to do that.
The only one I got, as usual, is looking forward to identifying what we can do with the almost 3.6 million in ARPA reimbursement funds. Thank you.
I'm going to make a comment. And the various budgets that do have capital improvements, it is important for transparency and for our planning ahead. A budget is a plan, to have that readily attached somehow for some outsider looking in, so they can see what our intentions are. You know, those forecasted capital projects, you know, are indicative of what our plans and what we're planning in the future. And it's important for everybody to understand what those are so they can ask questions and or what have you. Otherwise, I don't have any questions about the report in general. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Keith?
Yeah, I just have one minor question about it on the second bullet. I'm presuming Tyler is the software.
Yes, it's our
that is-
financial software.
Sorry, say hello.
Yes, it's our financial software.
All right, thank you, thank you. And I would just, I think that's a great idea. I mean, I know we talk about it at our other meetings, our planning meetings, our work sessions, and we put those out there. But it does, I mean, even I'm digging back through my files saying, okay, what was that for again?
Right. I have no questions on the report. Great report as ever. But I do also support the idea of having somewhere where for each of our budgets, our capital projects are, we have some sort of lineup of what we think they are. Thank you for that thought, Ms. Laurie.
Thank you. Town engineers report. We've read Wayne's report, and I'll begin with Councilwoman Hartman.
I have no further questions on this one. Thank you.
Yeah, just one quick question on the water park. Where are we on that one?
We are working with 3 design firms to send proposals to us to create a design package, a feasibility study package to put out for bid.
And so we're still waiting on those packets.
I expect those proposals this week.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a comment too, I guess, about our procedures and moving forward. We all know that we hadn't received any bids. And I know we recalibrated what we're doing. We're moving forward. Wayne's engaged with 3 design firms to obtain feasibility study proposals. And talking to them, a suggestion, touch base on it a couple times, but you're removing unknowns from projects, get your costs down. The more unknowns you have and contractors have to guess at stuff, we're going up. What's underneath the features of the water park is big mystery. We've got piles, we've got grade beams, we've got some other things that Jake and Wayne could both speak to. But providing there aren't any plans to change anything and open that again, and we're moving forward, putting something new there, which we are. Some selective demolition there. I don't know how large of an area or where it would be. Just something to, demo part of it. We're going to learn something from that. How are those grade beams tied to other things? They're concrete. How can the features be removed and expose the stuff that's there? I know you're thinking about that stuff. Maybe even have a geotech take a look and give some added input.
In fact, we just had that conversation yesterday. We're working with Hills Carnes to get a proposal to do exactly that. Jay and his team are going to do some selective demolition to open some areas and get them out here to do some analysis.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Councilmember Pardick asked my question about the water park. So nothing further. Thank you.
I think that was the hot button issue. So I'd be anxious to hear about those proposals that are hopefully coming in as we speak.
Thank you. Okay. Deputies report. We've read it. I'll stay right with you, Mr. Fink.
I don't have anything on the report. It's kind of typical stuff, but council did receive an email about a spate of car break-ins. So obviously, I'm sure if I didn't ask it, someone else would. So any updates you have on that would be appreciated as well.
Yep, you got it, Councilman. Yeah, that happened over this past weekend, mostly Chesapeake Village. I think it was maybe 10 cars were rummaged through that we're aware of. There were a few thefts out of at least 2 cars that I can think of. Some credit cards that were stolen have been used, and we're trying to obtain surveillance video from the locations where the cards were used, but no suspects at this time. If I could just say to anybody watching, lock your cars, don't leave your valuables out in the open, and we'll let you know when we get them in custody. So.
Yeah, that being said, of course, it's a shame. I'm going to make one other comment here. You and I even talked about offline once about the notion that, Calvert County is ideally it's a place where if you commit a crime, you're probably going to get caught. And there was an item in the news recently, and correct me if I have this wrong. There was a shop down in Prince Frederick, a beauty shop or something that was a bunch of people went in and just pilfered the place. And it was within 30 minutes you had them in custody. Do I have that right?
Yeah, that's you're probably talking about Ulta Beauty down.
Yep.
They get hit all the time, and We chase them up Route 4 every time, and usually we get them.
Cameras following them as they go. Yeah. Well, keep up the good work.
Yes.
I hope we're able to find something on this more local issue. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Councilman.
And of course, before I go to Larry, we actually have a little substation now in Dunkirk, which helps with having to chase them up Route 4
That's true.
if we got some guys already up there. So yeah,
That's true.
Councilman.
Thank you for your report. No questions. Thanks for your service and stay safe.
All right. Thank you, Councilman.
Sir.
Yeah, what is the status on those precincts? Are they up and running now?
They're up and running,
Okay.
fully up and running.
All right, so not necessarily chasing up Route 4 anymore, maybe coming down to get somebody there. That's good news.
They're making a mistake if they're coming down into Calvert County. They better be heading out.
Oh, that does happen sometimes, you know. It's criminals aren't the smartest sometimes.
Thank God.
There's in Richfield Station in the main entrance, and we're coming up. The speeding in Harrison Boulevard has kind of flared up. There's been some discussion about it. This is an age-old problem there. This has been going on as long as I can remember, since they opened up that road. And having a little bit of presence there is great for one of the homeowners who's been complaining. He's trying to sell his house. I'm not really sure if there's a solution there or not. We've got signage up there. I had a question, and it includes the complainant there. There are a few houses there on Harrison Boulevard where the town has it's a connection, I think, for the Fishing Creek trail system, but the bike lane that comes down through there, and it's on that side of the road.
Okay.
People, if you own a house there and there's a bike lane painted in front of your house, are you allowed to park on that bike lane?
I mean, yeah, it's nothing we would enforce. I mean, we're not going to write you a ticket for parking on the bike lane. If it's in front of your house, I mean, yeah, absolutely, you could park there. I mean, if someone complained, I suppose we would go there and ask them to move, but that's nothing we would be normally looking for. If it's
Yeah.
in front of somebody's house, I mean,
It's tough, right there, that there's a lot of traffic going up and down,
yeah,
and the light, I guess we're running on about 4 years old there, 4 years-ish or so. And it being in operation as it is 24/7, I'll be one of the first here to say that light's absolutely essential at certain parts of the day. I would still encourage the spotty to press SHA to maybe get that blinking at certain times. But at going 24/7, people are racing to get the green light down. I see people just blatantly going through the red light sometimes. I think that a little bit of the speeding that's occurring now could be alleviated or eliminated if we were blinking on off hours there. Off hours in particular.
Off peak, right?
Maybe, yeah. Just a
we can
comment
definitely put
there.
some time in there. Absolutely. I think we can.
I
slow
didn't
it down.
see it in your report, and maybe there's a reason for it, or maybe it was too recent. There was a gunshot victim on Eagle View Drive there that appeared to be self-inflicted.
That's correct. That's correct.
Very sad,
It was
private moment, if you will.
Okay.
it was a young person.
And this is real superficial comment here. I know that there's been some a flare up on one of the cul-de-sacs, if you will, with kids that have been playing out there. I think it's probably ballooned into some stuff that none of us have wanted. But just a general comment. I haven't experienced any issues like that before being in town. I live on a cul-de-sac. We've had kids. It's very cyclic for me. It's year to year, it changes. We've had hockey nets in the road, and I've come home, and it boils down to people being responsible and respectful to one another. And I would just encourage our deputies to engage folk when there's a problem there. Pull everybody together. Sometimes there's a couple kids, maybe their parents need to be spoken to, but everybody's got the rights there. We need to calibrate that. I mean, I know we don't want to be known as the town abandoning kids playing in the road, but we can't allow the playing to escalate to a point where it's really a public nuisance.
Yes, sir. I
So
agree.
there's some give and take on both sides there. Other than that, good to see you, Lieutenant.
All right. Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I actually have a question that's not in your report as well. The accident, I think, last Friday by Bayside Elementary. Did a tree fall and hit a car? Or did a car hit a tree? Because I've heard both stories.
It it was a,
tree that had fallen onto like a tanker truck.
Oh, God, okay.
That's the second one there. In
Yeah.
the last,
Very recently.
I think a month or two. So, but yes, it was. And we looked at that. I mean, I don't know if there's. I actually wrote there earlier this week. I don't know if there's anything to it or not. It's right there by the marshland, but I don't.
yeah.
know.
And Public Works has, Jay has connected with State Highway and he's walked that whole area. The tulip poplars are a big concern. And State Highway did respond to some of those areas. And I just also want to commend Public Works for assisting during that accident to get the tree out of the roadway. They were on site to assist with that.
Oh, very good for them. Very good. Yeah, I was afraid it was a tree falling down again. All right. No further questions. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Thank you,
may I have one follow-up?
Yes, please.
Did I understand you to say, I think I must have misheard you, that when Councilman Morris was talking about racing through that light, that you could put a timer there?
Oh,
that's
no, I mean, we could put some time in there, I think is
I
the
see.
big words.
Okay.
Yeah, we
I
could do
just
some
wanted-
enforcement measures there.
Right. So you're talking about enforcement measures. I think Councilman Morris was, and correct me here, of course, but I think you were making reference to the idea of maybe having that light on a blinker. That would be something that would require us to go through state highways, as I understand it.
Absolutely.
And I might just add editorially that flexible is not anywhere in SHA. So, but it is something that we could pursue, but it's through state highway, not through you guys. Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Stay
All
safe.
right, thank you, man.
That's what you do. Okay, North Beach Volunteer Fire Department, anything you want to add, Larry?
Yeah, just two things. Holly will be sharing this later date for the council, but the department's going to, at their monthly June meeting, which is June 5th, we'll have a dedication ceremony. We'll be dedicating a piece of apparatus at that meeting at 6:30, and the council is going to be invited to it, and Holly will share those details soon. And then the only other one on fundraising in this month's report, you'll see North Beach VFD Gun Bash. That's what we now call a Sportsman's Bash. And as I reported last month, it was very successful. Thank you to everyone who came out and supported the department. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Mayor's report. Summer's coming, and we're kicking off things with the Schistler Park Favre Way dedication on May the 23rd, followed by the George W. Owings III Stars and Stripes Festival. The council and I recently attended the ribbon cutting ceremony for the new Twin Beaches Library, which is a gorgeous state-of-the-art facility. Next time you visit, please enter the front door, go to your right, and you will see a plaque with the library's supporters. The town of Chesapeake Beach is at the top, proudly #1. The town council awarded a grant to the Twin Beaches Library to provide the interactive items that our community is so excited about. To include the sound booth, laser printer, vinyl printer, I don't even know what that is, 3D printer, sewing machines, robotic arms, technology for the preschooler learning room, and the interactive sandbox projector, and more. Thank you, Town Council. Great work. The term progress in municipal government is defined as moving forward, advancing to a satisfactory betterment for your citizenry. This is what we are currently experiencing right now in town. We just opened up a beautiful new Beach Elementary School on the south end, a bookend to the aforementioned new public library to the north. In the center of town, we continue making recreational improvements. We are upgrading our 30-year-old water park to ensure it serves as a community amenity, which I project to have an extended accessibility to town citizens, an increase from the 70 days a year that we've grown accustomed to. We are currently addressing stormwater management to keep our recreational fields open and our playground open, safe and accessible. Town Council will be reviewing proposals for the new playground equipment next week to be placed on a new elevated foundation for our children to enjoy. Through the effective work of our professional town administrator, Holly Wall, the town council and I were able to acquire full ownership of Killens Field from the Board of County Commissioners. Once again, thank you, council. Thank you, Holly. And thank you, the 5 members of the board. All this work is moving the town forward for the health, wellness, and vitality of town citizens. Putting town residents first will always remain my top priority. It's an honor to serve. Thank you. Next, vote on ordinance O-24-5, an ordinance of the Town Council of Chesapeake Beach adopting the annual budget for the general fund of the town of Chesapeake Beach for the fiscal year July 1 of 24 to June 30 of 25, setting municipal tax rates and establishing a non-interest bearing loan to the water park. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second with brief discussion.
There'll be discussion for everybody, yeah. Before I go to Vice President Fink for discussion, just because it's a budget item, I'm going to clarify once again some information that came up this evening erroneously. The town, by state law, the town of Chesapeake Beach is not permitted to increase the amusement tax on gaming revenue from 1/2%. That state law was enacted 15 years ago. So it's not like we've been sitting on our hands. You know, it's just it would be a violation of state law. So having said that, I've said it a million times. So I just want to set the record straight. Sir?
I mean, we have a motion. We have been through the budgets at length, and particularly the general fund budget. I have no further comments. I support the budget as it's been deliberated over the last couple of months.
Thank you.
I agree. I support.
Thank you.
A few comments. Thank you. Haven't had the benefit of being in these chambers for formal council deliberations with budgets and things over the years. We haven't hardly had any issues since Mayor Mahoney has been, sure, I don't think it's just Mayor Mahoney, it's everybody in the body here. You know, we're not trying to make arbitrary comments on any of the budgets. And I understand that we can change them as we move forward if we need to. So a quick side comment though, we've got 5 budgets and I expect them all to be approved tonight. They've been split up in the past though.
Yes.
So this is kind of like the
This is-
first
this
time
is a
on
little
one night.
different, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I think it's good work. It's efficient for sure. The A&A tax, we know that there's been a law on the books probably longer than you may have even said. But I think that law is archaic. I think that this town deserves more than a 0.5%, and it needs to be recalibrated. This town enjoyed the benefit of having the leadership of Senator Miller for so long. And he lived here in town. What an amazing human being that he was. There's quite a vacuum now there because of that. And I think it's worthwhile to press that and see if we can get that changed somehow and bumped up to a 1% or something. Because these events, these are in our town. Some of the other percentages that have been cited here, these are people that are benefiting from the money that's being generated in our town. So, and maybe I'm wrong. I know that the Miss Blackwell quoted the county is getting a percent. I believe that was actually 1.5%. That was earmarked, and I know the county had to use that for environmental stuff. I know they spent a lot of that down there on their parks and stuff. But you know, it is in law. That's irrefutable. But I do believe that law needs to be reevaluated. He also just wanted to reiterate, and I'll only say it on this budget, but when we have capital, you know, we've got capital expenditures of 1.8 million here in the general fund budget. Having an attachment so that people can easily see, you know, what we're forecasting and planning is good. And maybe I'll touch base real quick on the tennis courts. Not part of this budget. Maybe it's out of line talking about it within the budget.
If you're brief, that's fine.
I think I wanted to we all know that recently the state has had some massive budget cuts on boards of education across the land. That's something that I think we need to be a little sensitive of. I'm just thinking about that recently. I think that the Board of Education should refurbish the courts. Maybe we donate some money, maybe something to the equivalent of what we've done for other folks around here. I'm not sure I would want to be linked to a memorandum of understanding. I think those courts should be in operation as they have for 20 years. And we can give the money to Board of Education and let them deal with it all. That's my only comments. Thank you.
Thank you. And I guess I can share some of the thought that came up, general thoughts on money when I spent this past session up in Annapolis. And the going phrase that was going around, and this applied to federal, state, county, municipal, was basically, nobody has any money, don't ask for it. That was the theme of this session. Mr. Keith,
I have no questions on
I
this
still
budget.
ask for it, by the way.
Nothing additional. Thank you.
Nothing additional. Thank you.
Okay, very good. So we all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the ayes have it. Vote on ordinance O-24-6, an ordinance of the Town Council of Chesapeake Beach, adopting the annual budget for the water reclamation treatment plant of the Town of Chesapeake Beach for the fiscal year July 1 of 24 to June 30 of 25. Is there a motion to approve? Okay, I'll stay with the Council Vice President.
Here again, we've covered these budgets and this of all the budgets that we're doing and the work that you guys have done, I just can't imagine doing anything other than putting a yes.
I agree. And with previous comments on the capital projects line item, it'd be good to see a detail to that at some point. Thank you.
No
Thank you.
questions. Thank you.
Mr. Keith?
Thank you.
No questions. This is one budget I'm always happy to pass, with the view of the good that having a active water reclamation treatment plant does for the Bay. It's one of the best things that's happened to the Bay are the towns that have active, well-run plants. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
And the ayes have it. Vote on ordinance O-24-7, an ordinance to the Town Council of Chesapeake Beach, adopting the annual budget for the mitigation fund for the fiscal year July 1 of 24 to June 30 of 25. Is there a motion to approve?
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the ayes have it. Vote on ordinance O-24-8, an ordinance to the Town Council of Chesapeake Beach, adopting the annual budget for the utility fund of the Town of Chesapeake Beach for the fiscal year July 1 of 24 to June 30 of 25, and setting rates, charges, and fees related to water and source service for the town.
Move to approve. Brief discussion.
Is there a second? Okay, I'll begin with the Vice President.
Yeah, I'm not shocked that there's a desire for some discussion here, and there's been just a ton of conversation about this. And just from my perspective, I support the budget as approved, and I just want to reiterate my thoughts on that. We were presented with a bunch of different options. We, the council, we've discussed and debated a bunch of different options. At the end of the day, the option that is before us and that I support is what our treasurer and our town administrator feel gives us the best, most financially stable model moving forward. There are pros and cons to try to mess with. That's maybe not the best way to put it. Rates and fixed rates, et cetera, et cetera. I think we have the best of the options before us, and I support the budget. That I'll stop there.
Sir.
Thank you. I've shared my thoughts in previous meetings, and I find myself torn on this issue between supporting our treasurer, our town administrator, our public works director, and others who worked very hard to put this together. And yet, as I have commented in previous meetings, my concern extends to what is a fairly significant increase in rates I did the math on my personal rate, and under the new rates, my water and sewer bill is going to go up by about 44%. I think that is a tremendous jump in 1 year. I'm okay with it financially. Thank you, Lord. I can afford it, but I'm concerned about seniors in our community, low-income families, and our businesses. And as we look at connection fees and other elements that are in the plan, I'm concerned about the impacts on possible economic development in our town. Do I have suggestions as to how to change it? No, I don't. From my professional career, having worked on doing water and sewer fees like this, there is no single answer. It is a variety of answers that come together based on the individual community. And we've come together with this approach, but I remain concerned, and we all saw some exchanges today, email-wise, on utility fund impacts. I remain very concerned on the impact on our senior community and our low income and our businesses. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Mr. Morris.
Yeah, those are great comments, and we need to take everything into consideration. I support the budget. I support the rates that we have. It's a balancing act, no pun intended. And this is in part to address some comments that we have had. There's been a lot of discussion about this in trial and error too, through some recent years. The revenue's got to provide projected funding for its budget. The revenue budget's got to account for all of the costs. So I'm in favor of the new rates, and they are still, they're needed. And there's, because we need to pay for that. We need to target paying for the utility, the cost in that fund with those rates. I think that the flat fixed rate does provide some important ballast to the fund, some dependability, as we discussed at one of the work sessions. Again, I'm in favor of the new rates. I feel that they're needed. It's been tough uphill climb with that, but they are still the lowest rates in all local jurisdictions around here. That doesn't ease the pain of the increase there, but that puts in perspective a little bit of where we've come from, and hopefully we don't have far to go to get to where we need to be, and we'll find out in another year or so.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Sir.
Thank you. I just want to, I guess, Councilman Jaworski said it much better than I could. I share many of his same concerns. You know, we have, and of course, Councilman Fink as well, indicated we've looked at a lot of different options. We've considered a lot of different things, and I think this is where we have landed. And while it will be, I think, painful for some, I think it's something we do have to do for utility whole. So with that.
Madam?
I would like to echo Councilman Morris in his comment that we are still the lowest rate of the county, North Beach. Even though it's going up, we are still by far well below everyone around us and all of our neighbors. And while we want to keep low rates, we want to have a going concern. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I ask for a vote, I will concur by saying I've lived in this town for 30 years. 30 years ago, we had the lowest water and sewer rates in the area, to include Southern Anne Arundel, Calvert County, North Beach, et cetera. And 30 years later, when this passes, we will still have the lower rates of all those jurisdictions. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. And the ayes have it.
Put asterisks next to Larry's.
Okay, yeah. When you sign it. Yeah. Thank you, council. And you know, quite honestly, thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Holly. It's a lot of work. Thank you, staff. Jay's not here. Thank you, Jay. A lot of work went into, you know, the product that went to the council, and they spent a lot of time looking at 4 different options. You know, the ultimate goal was basically, you know, you can do this, you can do this, you can do that. But, how, what would be the best for somebody that has a bunch of kids and and we all know that kids get dirty and kids take baths and you got to spray off their dirt and it's just very, very tough. So we did our best. Vote on ordinance O-24-9. An ordinance to the Town Council of Chesapeake Beach, Maryland, adopting the annual budget for the Water Park Fund of the Town of Chesapeake Beach for the fiscal year July 1 of 24 to June 30 of 25, and establishing a non-interest bearing loan from the general fund to offset budgeted expenses. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. I'll begin discussion, if any, with the Council Vice President.
Yeah, I will keep this brief. I don't want to be on a soapbox, but I think it's interesting to take this opportunity to note that, we are, I believe we are pretty good stewards of the citizens' tax revenue. And there's been a lot of debate about the water park, and we will hear more, and we will do our best to make our goals very clear as we move forward. Doing anything other than what we're doing with the water park would not be a good stewardship of taxpayer money. And that's a mess. It's incumbent on us to get that message out. So I'm taking one more opportunity to do it. Thank you.
Sir?
No comments.
Thank you. Mr. Morris?
No comments, thank you.
Comment.
No comments.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any ayes have it. Introduce and vote on resolution R-24-3, a resolution of the Town Council of Chesapeake Beach adopting the Calvert County 2023 Hazard Mitigation Plan. Your motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Any discussion?
Brief.
Okay, I'll begin with Councilwoman Peggy then.
We have just, I know we've discussed this a few times and I have no further questions on it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
No additional questions.
Sir?
Thank you. Yeah, no, just the comment from the work session that this is good that we were doing this. I know we need to. We may want to have a temporary committee to take a look at maybe tailoring some of that specifically to the town, maybe introducing, some things to it that could be unique. Just tailoring comment. That's it. Thank you. Otherwise,
Thank you.
Comment I had, which will sort of respond to Councilman Morris, is this hazard mitigation plan is a critical part of the town's coastal resiliency plan. So the Coastal Resiliency Steering Committee will be addressing this as part of their efforts moving forward. And I'll report a little bit more on that during the coastal resiliency report, committee report.
Sure.
Nothing further. I obviously support this.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any ayes have it. Next, we did receive a report from the chairwoman of Planning and Zoning, Board of Appeals. There will be a continuation hearing on case 2023-03, Rod and Rail Inc., Donovan Estates LLC, was held on April 17th of 24. The next hearing will be May the 29th at 6:30 p.m. C-Box, I believe Susan did give us a report. Climate Change Advisory Group. Larry?
Thank you. The Climate Change Advisory Group continues to work closely with the Coastal Resiliency Steering Committee and Chair Jeff Foltz to identify next steps to move forward with implementing the town's coastal resiliency plan. As was reported in the town administrator's report, the steering committee will coordinate its efforts with Planning and Zoning Commission, and we are working with the University of Maryland Partnership for Action Learning, headed by Peter May, to identify possible remediation and flood protection measures for the marsh area between Horizons on the Bay and Seagate communities. We are also in active discussions with Mahan Raikale Associates about possible professional assistance with identifying the next steps to move forward with implementing the town's coastal resiliency plan. Stay tuned for further updates on that. Co-Chair Keith, anything to add?
No, thank you.
Any questions?
A comment, maybe.
Please.
I did review, I did watch one of the meetings. I don't know if it was the most recent one. I was a recent one. I don't know if it was the latest one. Jeff is just kind of starting, marching forward, trying to feel everybody out and figure out what the next steps are. I really thought the meeting was well run. I think Jeff did a great job. I was respectful of the work that they're doing, that's been done, and some hard decisions that have to be made moving forward. But I thought that was a really good meeting, and everybody there, particularly Jeff, representing town interest there.
Thank you.
Jeff is remarkable. Yeah, thanks. Okay, sir, EDC.
Economic Development Committee, this week is Calvert County Business Appreciation Week. Earlier today, I participated in visits to Chesapeake Animal Clinic in Owings, Catherine Charter Fishing right here in Chesapeake Beach, right next to Abner's Crab House, and the brand new Eden Pharmacy, also located here in town. Tomorrow, there will be a meeting of the County Economic Development Advisory Committee, which I chair. This meeting will be held at the Patuxent Environmental and Aquatic Research Lab, Pearl, which is located in Jefferson Patterson Park. So that'll be a very interesting site to go visit. Other economic development activities include coordinating with the recently established Twin Beaches Business Alliance. We're trying to move forward with working closely with them, and planning for the town health fair to be held at Kellums Field on Saturday, May 18th from 9 to 12, which is also included in the town administrator's report. And I'm very excited to report that planning is well underway for our annual Taste the Beaches event, scheduled for Saturday, September 21st from 11:30 to 4:30. This year's event will be held at Baia Coastal Italian Kitchen and Wine Bar. So again, stay tuned for further details on that. Any questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Green Team, Councilwoman Bodine is not here. Kellam's Revitalization, Vice President Frank.
Nothing new to report, but I am very excited to break ground. It's like sort of like a twilight zone. So that's good.
Very good. Okay, Twin Beaches Opioid Abuse Awareness Coalition.
All right, thank you, Mayor. So the coalition met on 4/11, and we primarily discussed our plans for the upcoming Glow Vigil and International Overdose Awareness Day event that's held over in North Beach each year on August 1st, or excuse me, August 31st. This year we're going to be unveiling the Big Hug, Big Chair sculpture that Thomas Sterner is creating. He was selected in our Their Lives Matter art or sculpture. Don't want to call it a competition, but our sculpture event where we put a call out to artists to provide their ideas, and he was selected as the best. So we'll be unveiling that, and of course, in the intervening months, we're going to be doing outreach and passing out purple light bulbs and additional information to raise awareness about the opioid epidemic. And I'm always happy to see when I see the sheriff's report. Thus far we only have one overdose, non-fatal this year in both the towns, Chesapeake Beach and North Beach. So that's always great to see. New numbers coming on there. And then also just wanted to put out a notice about the Shatter the Stigma 5K that's happening on May 18th. I hope you can make that. It's a walk run, and it's also along with the Be Kind to Your Mind health fair, and that's from 9 to 12, and that's going to be out here in the Kellums Field Complex and on the boardwalk. And also wanted to do a shout out here for Holly and Martha Kennedy, Katie Dorsey of the Calvert County Health Department, and Savannah Richardson for all their work in planning this. It's shaping up to be a great event. The last numbers I heard were there were going to be 300 people in the walk run have signed up for it. Hopefully they'll all show up. And the number of vendors, I don't remember the number for that. Do you know that, Holly?
5.
At least 25 vendors have signed up to be there. So I hope you can make it. Our next meeting is May 9th over at the Northeast Community Center at 6 p.m. and you're welcome to join us. Thanks.
Okay. No unfinished business, new business. Town to consider authorizing the chair of the Town of Chesapeake Beach Board of Elections to dispose of materials as presented by Randy Getman, who is the chair, in Exhibit A. We've discussed this in a work session. Oops. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
If we have any questions of Randy, this is the time. Thanks for all your work, Randy.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Finally got around to it.
Yeah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Randy does a lot of volunteer work that goes unnoticed. It's a 4-year job. Randy's in the office with me or Holly or Todd or anybody just discussing things. He researches everything, and we're really blessed to have Randy as one of our many volunteers. So okay, kind of a good one here. The town council to consider authorizing the mayor to initiate a swim lesson program at no additional cost to town residents by employing the Town of Chesapeake Beach lifeguards. The town council to consider authorizing the mayor to enter into an MOU with Calvert County government to hold swim lessons at the Prince Frederick Aquatic Center and enter an agreement with Red Cross to train the town's lifeguards to conduct the swim lessons. Costs for the program, including staff costs, licensing, and training, are estimated at $7,000 from the general fund recreation operation line item from the FY24 budget. Is there a motion to approve?
Moved.
Second.
Before I ask for the discussion, I want to give a special shout out to BOCC President Buddy Hance. He was just so easy to work with on this. It was just unbelievable. He just said, the beach kids are our kids, and tell us what you need, So, any discussion? Yeah.
Just a quick comment. I noticed in here, the plan is that we will do this for 4 weeks between June 30th to July 21st, which is great because I also looked up and see that the Aquatic Center is going to be closed July 27th to September 8th.
Oh, yeah. They do every year. Maintenance.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just sort of surprised they do it in the middle of summer. But
It's indoor.
yeah, I know. Just saying. Nothing more. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, Lara. I swim there, so it was kind of.
Yeah, it's a good effort by the town. I would venture a guess that we wouldn't be doing this had we had an active operating water park of sorts. And a part of the ancillary effect of this effort, the jobs for local kids. It's important. Trying to fill that void a little bit. So I'm in support. Thank you.
Thanks.
No further questions. Thank you.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the ayes have it. Okay. At this time, is there any public comment? And I if you, Ms. Blackwelder, if you don't mind, and I have to welcome the Donovan siblings over here in the front row. It's I'm sure we all say this when we visit our friends' families and stuff. We say, when you see 3 of you sitting side by side, you really can say, boy, they look just like Gerald. So thank you. I'm sorry, I just was full of that. Please state your name and address, please.
Gail Harkins, 7752 C Street.
Mhm.
Mayor Mahoney and members of the town council. I love the water park. I love why and who it was created for. Us. My town. Your town. An exceptional little water park in the center of Chesapeake Beach, intrinsic to who we are. I would like to see it saved and repaired. The mayor and town council are promoting reconceptualizing the water park. I have inferred from town explanations that the purpose of reconceptualizing is to remove elements of the water park that are attractive to tourists. It seems to me that the objective is to demolish and rebuild the existing water park because of its age and existing conditions. I believe that the sinking and cracking is a problem in areas that are not on pilings and grade beams. For example, the rock facade of the tower next to Gordon Stennett Boulevard is visibly higher than the sidewalk. That distance is proof of how much the surrounding areas have sunk. On the town website section of Quick Facts, why can't the town restore the existing water park? The explanations suggest the pools and lazy river are sinking and cracking as well as the main building, grill building, and pump room. A quick look at the town's website of piling locations makes it very clear that 80 to 85% of the footprint of the water park is on pilings and grade beams. If there are any reports of structural defects in the grade beams or pilings, the public should be made aware of it with copies of certified documentation. Without documentation of those structural failures, a complete redesign of the water park would be a complete waste and the abuse of the town's taxpayer dollars. I submit that making upgrades to the existing facility would be the most expeditious and financially responsibly way to proceed. It looks like this year's park will be closed for feasibility studies. I'm confused about a feasibility study rather. Feasibility studies are usually performed to determine the financial viability of return on investment of a future business based on projection of unknown data. The water park has 29 years of historical data. A feasibility study does not make sense to me. I would like to share another issue. I think the 2023 season rates were purposely changed. An obvious take on it was to discourage tourists. Was that roadmap, a bad policy to meet the objective of reconceptualizing the water park? And as to its safety, I spent a lot of time at the water park last summer, and I was never aware of any safety hazards. I stand in opposition of reconceptualizing the water park. I do not want the water park to be closed for years and the town taxpayers to be burdened with an even more expensive multi-million-dollar project. Has the water park gone years without major equipment upgrades? It is time. Please fix the water park. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other comment at this time? I saw Ms. Blackwelder.
I wholeheartedly agree with that statement. And first, I am really happy with the coastal resiliency report and the RFP on the Chesapeake Village sidewalk. And regarding a state law that prevents us from charging a tax rate commensurate with our county and our neighbors, that should be a petition annually in Annapolis to remove that law. And I hope that starts very soon. One would think that in a town that features a resort and casino and several gaming venues, that the single benefit to residents would be that their amenities and other capital improvements could be easily afforded. It's sad to hear those who have been in elected office for decades say that the sudden closure of the water park is no surprise, and then describe the potential cost for a replacement facility or refurbishment frightening. There was an active water park committee in place when this administration was first elected in 2016. What happened to it? Instead of planning and saving for a sustained local water recreation, the town has allowed our casino venues to enjoy discounted admissions and amusement tax rates, and residents will do without. Childhood is fleeting. It may be better to repair the current water park and regroup to achieve a better plan. Or as Madam just said, just refurbish the water park. Everybody loves it. But the situation with the tennis courts may be the most infuriating. There is absolutely no reason why the residents of Chesapeake Beach should be playing on a dilapidated tennis courts that may be removed, instead of on new refurbished courts, when all the town council had to do to improve them was write a small check. Finally, a town with such a lucrative businesses should have a full, highly qualified staff. Why are we operating without a professionally trained zoning administrator and without a planning and zoning attorney? Clearly, our local businesses have plenty of money and a propensity for filing appeals and lawsuits. Is the town not going to protect itself legally? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, everybody. Council lightning round. Vice President Frank.
I'm going to go back to a theme that I've gone back to a number of times over the last couple of years, and that is civility. I appreciate and respect everyone who's come up here and made comments tonight and some of the written comments that we've received. That is civility, and I respect every citizen's right to come forward with their thoughts. This past week, we had something that was remarkably uncivil, and I'm sure the sheriffs could, I should have asked this actually during the sheriff's report. I'm not sure if people are aware of this. Someone took it upon themselves to run two bikers off a road and then fire a shotgun at them. That gentleman, I believe, is in custody. That's not civility. And we work here in our small town. We have perhaps differences of opinion. This council works together. Citizens are engaged. We're not all going to agree on which boxes to check, and I respect that as well. But I like being in a place where, generally speaking, we have civility. And I'll wrap up there.
Sure.
Just one comment I should have made as part of the fire department report. As many of you may know, there was a fairly significant house fire in North Beach on 4th Street several days ago. And just a reminder to everyone, please check your smoke detectors. Fortunately, no one was injured in that fire, but please check your smoke detectors. Thank you.
That might be the wisest thing said all night. That and lock your cars. Sir.
To touch very briefly on the comment we had here at the end of the meeting, we have been going through this exercise. we are learning stuff as we've been moving along. And I know we're going to have some continued conversations. We all want to make sure we're doing the right thing. Off of that, I want to pivot to something that the mayor speaks of a lot, and that's volunteers in this town. This is an amazing town. If you want to be a part of something, you don't have to join town council. You don't necessarily have to be appointed to planning and zoning, but there are many areas where you can volunteer and enjoy helping to grow quite a diverse array of things that we have going on here in town. I'll single out the Reef Ball project that's ongoing right now. I'm volunteering on a couple days there myself for Beach Elementary School. I can't wait. But I've got that date circled. I'm not really speaking of myself, but experiences that I've had volunteering in town are very fruitful and rewarding. And so I would encourage anybody that would like to get involved. You don't necessarily need to run for mayor. You can, there's lots of committees. Reach out to town hall, check our website. There are many ways that you can engage. You can engage lightly, you can engage heavily, and it's a great town to do it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all for being here tonight. I really appreciate the fact that you came here and gave comments. I do like to hear what the citizens have to say. And so, again, thank you again and have a great evening.
I have two things. One of them is to comment, add a little addendum into Councilman Fink's comment about the bicyclists that were shot at. They were actually riding in a charity ride to end hunger in Calvert County. So it's even like a little bit sadder. And then I wanted to comment, I'm really sorry Jay's not here because I'm going to try to make him blush. I really wanted to compliment our Public Works group. I did not realize they were out helping to move that big tree, but they're always there. I mean, we get reports all the time through email blasts of water leaks. They're on it immediately. 24/7, they're on it immediately. They don't have a huge staff, but they're there all the time. And I think that they deserve themselves a round of attaboys for their great work in this town. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to end the evening with comment before I ask for a motion to adjourn. Because I've been here for 28 years, a lot of the things that go on, I've been through the iterations over and over again, and I, probably have just a lot of, institutionalized knowledge. It's okay to hear somebody suggest that we, petition the state to increase the amusement and admission tax on gaming revenues. But what we have to understand is that would impact 3 local businesses only. It would not impact the state. They're not giving us any money. It would basically be in increasing a tax or trying to on 3 local businesses. And I don't think that's something that this council would take lightly. I think I just don't think that would be a cause for discussion. And I don't think Annapolis would even think about it. So, but I think sometimes we don't understand that you can say have a tax, do this, but this one would it would affect 3 local businesses and that's it. But just to give you another example, and then I'll I'm usually fine around this time of year of just sharing some of the things that happen up in Annapolis and bills. And I think the bills that didn't pass are the funny ones to talk about. There was a restaurant. There was a restaurant and meals tax. It was going to give municipalities the opportunity to put a 2% restaurant tax in there, and and that revenue would go to 2 municipalities, only. And I shared with the folks I know up in Annapolis, and I of course I speak kindly of Senator Jackson, who's just an outstanding senator, and I said, Michael, you've we've had breakfast at Traders, and I guarantee you, on any given day, 95% of those people in there live within a 5-mile radius of this town. I said, that's a local tax. That's not a tax for tourists. That's what the guys was. And I said, I'll tell you one other thing too. If we were to raise it in this town and North Beach didn't, South Anne Arundel didn't, Calvert County didn't, we would just lose money. We would never see that 2%. In fact, so yeah, sometimes when you talk about a tax and raising a tax, you really got to put a lot of thought into the fiscal implications for who it affects. So having said that, shared way too much information. Sorry. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Move.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Any ayes have it? Good night.
Good night.
Everybody again.